You're ready.
So you're going to ask the questions?
Yep.
And just lead me through. Okay.
Welcome to North Country Commerce, a business and community service of the Plattsburgh North Country Chamber of Commerce. I'm Gary Douglas, president of the Chamber, and we're focusing on something very important to the entire North Country on this segment, some developments at Clinton Community College that are meant to key in precisely with what we need to keep jobs coming here and also to sustain and retain all those jobs we have here, which are going to have to keep up with changing times. I know you've heard us on this program in the past talk about our workforce needs here in the North Country and heard us really keep telling the story that employers of all kinds out there, from retail to industrial, are really talking about how they need to keep pace with changing technology, changing equipment, changing practices, changing demographics. Everything out there is changing for employers, and it means it's changing for employees too. And if we want to keep the good jobs that we have here and bring in the best kinds of jobs in the future as we redevelop Plattsburgh Air Force Base and look to continue having growth up here, we need to have the infrastructure in place, and part of that is education and training. And thank heavens we have Clinton Community College here, not only here and doing a lot of the basics for many years that have been needed to sustain that, but also jumping in there to make sure we're positioning ourselves and doing it as quickly as possible for the future. We're happy to have with us on this segment Dr. Jay Fennell, president of Clinton Community College. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you, Gary.
And in fact, for a change, as you can see, we're standing up. We're not sitting because there's a lot of action going on here. So you don't just sit around when you're at Clinton Community College.
That's right.
You've got to keep on your toes and on your feet. And we're also here at the college, as I just mentioned. Rather than doing this at the chamber, we're going to give you a look at something at the end of this episode, so be sure and stay tuned, because there's one very exciting physical development going on here. We're going to show you that it isn't just something you've read about in the papers and heard is happening or might be happening. You're going to see it's actually well underway, and it's going to be reality in the near future. Jay, talk to us a little bit about industrial technology, the new programs that you've already brought online, even before your new facility is up and running, to help employers out there keep up with the times.
Well, Gary, a few years ago, in talking with business leaders around the community, we realized that there was a great need for people to be trained in the technologies. So to make a long story short, we got together a lot of these people in the local industries, brought them into the college, began to talk with them about the needs that they had for their workforce in the future. And we were also very cognizant of all the new industry that was looking at this area and knew that they would have great needs for a well-trained workforce. So we got busy and we identified a couple of programs that we could start immediately, although rather small in the beginning. We have gotten them started to just show that we're capable of mounting the kind of education programs that are needed in the area. So 2 years ago, we started electronics technology, the very first offering that we've ever done in that kind of field. And we have that group of graduates now in their group of students in their second year and graduating this May.
First graduating class.
First graduating class already.
Mm-hmm.
And many of those people are already interviewing in the local community, and a few of them I hear are assured of employment, and May graduation is a ways off. So each year, this last fall again, we entered another class of electronic students, and so we're often running in a field that we know is going to create a lot of jobs in the area for local area people. Mm-hmm. We're really interested in this too, I think, in giving local people the opportunity to become well trained and to be able to get good jobs, have good careers, and stay in this North Country area. Mm-hmm. So the second program that we started this last fall was industrial tech. That was second on the list of priority in terms of local business and industry need. And we have a first group of people going through that program, and they will graduate, the first class will graduate in the spring of 1999. Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing something specifically with pulp and paper sector too, aren't you?
In the industrial tech program, at first, as this whole thing evolved, when we talked with Georgia Pacific, at first there was this interest to do just a paper and pulp technology program. Mm-hmm. And then as other industry people began to speak up, we realized, and I think Georgia Pacific agreed, that what we ought to do is a broader-based industrial tech program and have paper and pulp as a part of that. Mm-hmm. The plastics industry also got involved and said, well, we can get in on this too. We would like a general technology program. of industrial tech. And then if you can put in some courses in plastics, that will fill our needs. So right now we have sort of a generic industrial tech program with a couple of offshoots to really zero in on the needs of two local industries.
Now, Georgia-Pacific is actually a good example, though, kind of the change that's happening, even with some of the older employers that have been here forever. I know I've heard Tom Nixon, managers at Georgia-Pacific, talk very directly that you're not going to come out of high school anymore and go to work at Georgia-Pacific, like perhaps somebody's father did 20 years ago. Just that isn't going to happen. They're going to have the kind of training that you're now providing here to work in places like Georgia-Pacific in the future.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And they're indicating that they would like to see very shortly everyone that comes into their facility have at least a 2-year degree. And that's really necessary because if you talk about computer-operated manufacturing today, you cannot get that kind of background and preparation coming out of high school. You've got to have some higher level training if you're going to be able to operate in those fields.
Sure, I said there really is hardly any kind of industrial work site anymore. It doesn't require some computer skills even.
That's right.
Even the most basic kinds of equipment that 10 or 20 years ago was either mechanical or simply physical work now has some computer application involved in it.
Absolutely.
And to what degree do you see, is your experience and your interest already, employers preparing for new hirings as opposed to rehiring people that may have been with them for 10 or 20 years and need to be caught up with the changes happening?
Actually, we're filling both needs. We have a number of people who are being sponsored by local industry. They're already working there, and they're being sponsored into, in particular, our industrial technology program, so that they upgrade their skills. And we're also looking for the student who's coming right out of high school and who has an interest in science and math and applying that somehow in a career and looking for something locally that will afford them a good job later on. Well, here is the answer with some of these technology programs that these young people right out of high school can get into, end up being into some very good opportunities for employment long term.
Now, I know another term that's probably unfamiliar to a lot of viewers out there is contract learning, working with specific employers to design programs for them. I believe you've been working recently with Schoenbeck's, for example.
Right. The state now is providing some training monies that the community colleges can apply for, and to upgrade the skills of employees that are already in plant. And so we have obtained through that source a $48,000 grant from the state for Schoenbeck so that they can provide, we can provide for them computer training to about 150 of their employees.
So this is something for businesses out there to consider too, that may have some very specific training needs, or bringing new equipment on, or you're experiencing some problems with productivity, and you know you need to do something with your current workforce. That the college is a place that can design something for you, so don't just look in the catalog and say, "Oh, nothing here suits my needs, so I guess there's nothing in the North Country that can help me." That isn't the way it is anymore.
No, that's for sure. We can do a lot of custom training and really zero in on the needs of business and industry. And the fund that we were able to get the grant from Schoenbeck out of was statewide worth $750,000 this year, but 30 community colleges competing for $750,000 doesn't go too far. So we are hoping that that pool of money is going to be increased to somewhere between $3 and $5 million in this next state budget year. And if that comes to pass, we would be ready and able to help a lot of other local industries with specific kinds of training that they need to upgrade their employees so that their plants and companies can thrive.
Now, there are a lot of good jobs at stake here too, perhaps for young people or even not so young people that are thinking of a second career or trying to get a better job maybe in something they have now. Maybe thinking, well, you know, what's this all about, so I can go out and get a minimum wage job in a warehouse or something. Well, by the way, warehousing isn't what it used to be either. There's a lot of high tech in warehousing today. But there's some really good jobs that can be out there for people that come through these programs, aren't there?
Absolutely. Some very good jobs. A lot of the companies locally need people who really can maintain their computer-driven manufacturing equipment. And we're providing that kind of training.
Mhm.
And a lot of people who are already employed are seeing their companies upgrade to this kind of equipment. And they will need the kind of training that we provide in order to be able to run that equipment. So with computer-assisted manufacturing really becoming the state of the art and being used all over the country and in the North Country, the workforce really has to be brought along so that they can do this kind of work.
And another very concrete step in all this, no pun intended, although I'm sure there's some concrete involved in this.
A lot.
is to actually build a new facility here at the college to take these programs and this commitment by Clinton even further than it otherwise could be taken, although they've already taken some dramatic steps in terms of offering new programming and new training and new partnerships with employers out there. But to take that up not just one notch, but several notches, that you have a major building program underway, and we have a couple of drawings behind us, and then we're actually going to take you out and show you the actual construction underway. But tell folks just briefly kind of what this facility is about, how much it costs, what's going to be in it.
Okay, be glad to. This is our new Science and Technology building that will house the technology programs that I've just spoken about, and will also house some of the new ones that we will be getting online in the next few years. Also, this building will incorporate and satisfy some of the other needs that we have on campus, so that when we're finished with this building, we really will have a very comprehensive institution here. But very briefly, let me tell you what's going to be included in this. We will have, this building will be 52,000 square feet, and in it we will have 6 high-tech science labs. And we need science labs, of course, to support technology programs. And some of the programs we already have on board, like nursing and medical laboratory technology, and some of the expansions we probably will do in those programs in future years. So 6 very nice high-tech science labs. There will be 2 technology labs in the building. One is going to be an industrial lab. A very large industrial lab, 2 stories high. We'll have a lift to bring in heavy equipment from a rolling door and a loading dock entry to the area. Big floor, heavy-duty floor to hold this kind of equipment. And we will have all kinds of power and gases and other kinds of things that would be needed in an instructional kind of mode within that industrial lab to satisfy not only our technology programs, but this particular industrial lab will be available for local business and industry to use in terms of their needs to train on some new equipment they might be bringing in, or have us do that training on some new equipment they're bringing in, to bring it here first, or bring a model of that equipment here. Whatever the need might be, it'll be very, very flexible. But a very large industrial lab will be a part of this building. And then we will have in this building the home for our electronics program. That'll be a suite of rooms, being a laboratory for electronic tech, and for offices and storerooms and so on.
That's great. What kind of increase in your capacity will this allow in terms of additional students and classes that you'll be able to offer that you can't with the present facility?
We'll be able to do a lot with class offerings. We would be able to accommodate all of what we're doing academically in degree programs out here, while at the same time, both day and evening, be able to accommodate the training needs for local business and industry. No problem at all with that kind of thing. And where would the growth of the college be? Well, before we lost the air base, we had about 2,100 students here, and now we have about 1,650. And if you think of the new capacity we have in some of the very specialized facilities that we have, you can see that we can sustain a lot of growth and be very comfortable in having more people on campus. In particular, the mix of a lot of community people right along with our regular student body.
Now, there have also been some other enhancements to the facility here that have been carried out already too, haven't they? For people that haven't been here for a while, that they'll want to check out the next time they visit.
That's right. We've added on a new student center cafeteria. which goes off the main building and out toward the lake. That's a nice two-story facility with a student center, cafeteria area, new kitchen. In addition to that, we have a technology lab that we have put into a remodeled building on the north end of our property, and that's working out very well at this point.
Mm-hmm. Now the cost of all this and the funding sources.
Okay, the total project is $10 million. That includes the Science and Tech building, the student center and cafeteria area, the other technology building, some other improvements to the main academic building, and a new maintenance garage and parking lot. So $10 million, half of which comes from the state, and the other half comes from our county sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Very important investment, which is, I know we at the Chamber are very appreciative of the county's support in particular. I think it's and I know most of the county board really saw this as a very important investment in the future. You're looking at a 5,000-acre Air Force base and what we're going to do with it, and hopefully do the best possible things with it. And continuing to be, and I mentioned this on past shows, but it continues to be the case, Clinton County continues to lead the state in the growth of manufacturing jobs. Now, if you want to keep up with the demand that brings to this area, but also get the best kinds of manufacturing jobs in the future, the ones that are going to pay the best and be the best kinds of jobs for North Country people, you have to be prepared to support that. I know as I go around to chamber conferences and things around the country now, it's becoming almost a cliche to say that economic development isn't about location and industrial parks anymore, it's about workforce. That is really becoming the defining thing as to where the good jobs are going to go. Because if you look at people around the country or North America, globally really, because that's the kind of competition we're in, everybody's got industrial parks, everybody's got water and sewer now, everybody's got incentive programs and loans and IDA bonds and all of that. Those aren't very often now the things that make the difference. And so now it's coming more down to what's your workforce, and can you meet my workforce needs now, and are you going to be able to continue to meet my workforce needs in the next 10 to 20 years?
That is really very true, and I think we can say very clearly that here at Clinton Community College we're prepared to meet whatever the need might be for business and industry, either expanding in this area, growing their business, or for new business coming into the area. We can do the job. We'll have the facility here, and we can get the people here.
Let's go out and take a look at the facility and
Okay.
show folks just how far along it's coming.
Okay, great idea.
Done? Okay, we're outside at the south end of the main building now on the campus, taking a look at the new facility we've been telling you about. And as you can see, it isn't just a plan on paper anymore. It's a real live building. It's the roof is on, and they're well along the way at making this reality. Completion time, Jay.
We will occupy this building around the 1st of August.
Now the ice storm in January did put you behind schedule, like a lot of things in North Country, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. We had hoped we'd get in here sometime the very first part of July, but that's not reality now. But if we can get occupancy the first part of August, we can move everything over into the building and be ready to go with fall classes in September.
Now, as best you can, maybe you can just kind of describe kind of what we're looking at and some of the different elements of the building.
Okay, well, we're looking at the north end and the north end entrance, and on the first level here on the east side, or to the left, in the first 2 stories actually, where you see no windows in place but gaping holes where the windows will go, that is going to be an auditorium. We will have 180 seat theater seat type auditorium. We'll use it for our own productions, of course, for our own conferencing, but also that will be available for the community. Then directly to the right on the second floor, and in back as you proceed down the building all the way to the end on the south end, the whole second floor will consist of science labs. The 6 science labs that we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're up on the 3rd floor, and there's only a 3rd floor on the north end of the building, but that will have new space for our photography labs, and on the east side or on the left there will be new art studios. So we'll be able to move over from very crowded and inadequate space in our main academic building and occupy beautiful space up on the 3rd floor. So this is a science and tech building, but it's also a building which will allow us to do other kinds of things in the arts. And that's very important to us as a community college and to serve the community.
Now, you also pointed out down on the left here in the kind of what would be the center part from where we're standing, there's a two-story area draped in blue, and that's going to be taking advantage of the view from here, which is spectacular.
Right, that's the lobby area, and looking off to the east and out to the lake, that two-story wall will be all glass, and there'll be a patio outside. So people will be able to come out and enjoy the beauty of the North Country and the beauty of the lake.
Now, I also noticed, and it's always a point we like to make, I noticed the name Renane Building Contractors down here doing the job, are using local contractors to do this work and providing some jobs for local people in the construction too.
Right, they're all local contractors on the job, and Renane is the general contractor.
Spectacular view here, and the whole campus, of course, used to be the Champlain Hotel, which I'm sure natives up here will recall, but a lot of folks out there probably didn't know that. There used to be a resort hotel here on the lake going back into the 1800s, and has, without hesitation, the most spectacular view of Lake Champlain anywhere on this side of the lake, really from this bluff. You're happy to have people come here and visit the campus, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. People should come up here and take advantage of the views. Any time of the year, the views of the lake are spectacular. This is a real beauty spot. People should remember this college belongs to them, and they should come up here and take full advantage of it. Enjoy the views, enjoy coming up here for courses or workshops or anything else we offer, and of course we have concerts on the bluff in the summer.
That's right.
But people should feel welcome to come to their college.
So even if you just want to check out the progress on this building, be sure and stop by, just swing in. I know we were discussing on our way out here, there are still people here in the North Country that have never been on this campus, or were on it maybe for some occasion years ago and haven't been lately, and there's no reason not to. It's there's no great security that you have to pass out there by the road or something. Feel free to come in, drive around, see what's going on, see the building, see the view, and stop by.
Yes, we welcome anybody coming in here at any time to see what we're up to and to enjoy this spot. This is wide open for them. No one should feel at all reluctant.
Now, this program goes out, of course, in several counties here in the North Country, and of course it's called Clinton Community College, but it isn't just for Clinton County, is it?
No, it isn't. We're really serving the North Country area. We actually have a number of students from Vermont, and we have a lot of students from downstate New York. We have a wonderful arrangement with Plattsburgh State, wherein our students from out of the area can live in their dorms. So everybody wins in this deal, and it's a great service educationally for the North Country.
So our viewers in Franklin County and Essex County that might have an interest in taking courses here, maybe have never checked it out, should do so. And businesses and employers there. This isn't the programs that we've talked about aren't at all just for employers here in the Plattsburgh area. They're for employers anywhere who want to take advantage of them. And I'm sure there are some businesses in the Malone and Willsboro area, for example, where there are some companies that could probably take advantage of some things that you're doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people think sometimes that a college is only set up to do degrees and to offer credits. And that's not true with a community college, and especially not Clinton. We can do things in any format, any time arrangement. Our basic goal is to provide what people need as education and training, and we'll do it in a way that fits them. We're not tied to credits and degrees.
Well, there you have it. A whole lot going on the bluff overlooking the lake here. Been going on for years, but a whole lot of new things going on. Once again, the North Country is really on the cutting edge of things and doing things here on this campus that I know a lot of areas of this state I'm sure are already very jealous of, because it's what all areas of the state need to be doing, and we're trying to keep ahead of that curve. And I know we're very grateful to the college for helping us do that, so we can keep good jobs here and keep bringing more good jobs here. And with that, I'm going to offer Jay any one final comment you might have.
Well, I guess I would say Clinton Community College is here to serve the community, and if we're doing that job, that's fine. If we're not doing the job, people ought to let us know, but we're here to serve the local area, make sure that local area people have educational opportunities, training opportunities, can have an improvement in the quality of their life and have good jobs.
Thank you very much, and thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in future weeks for other segments of North Country Commerce. Can't get rid of us that easy. There's so much here to show that we decided to pick up a couple more minutes here. There was an old part of the original hotel up at the other end from where the new construction is going on. It was the old laundry building, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
And they've already, as part of their commitment to this whole new concept of bringing new services and industrial training here, took the laundry building and have turned it into a kind of a mini tech center already.
Right. This is, in order for us to start our industrial technology program this past fall, we needed to create a space, and this old building was well constructed, and so we put a little money into it and come up with an industrial technology laboratory so we could get that program going. So there's a nice industrial tech lab here, and a classroom adjoining it, and an office and a storeroom. We'll continue to use this facility even with the new building. We're going to need a lot of space in order to have these technology programs available.
Now, what sort of training would be going on in this room with these computer setups?
I think that, I'm not sure what they're doing here, but I suspect they're doing a little bit with learning how computers and numerical control operate.
I know I see a circuit board all set up here.
So again, I'm not quite sure what it is they're doing here, but there's some application with understanding computers and then how they would connect with manufacturing.
Now, walking over here, you were pointing out that Clinton Community College was recently ranked #1.
Yes, we're very pleased with that. Every 3 years, SUNY has the students at the community colleges rate their particular community college, and this last year, on that survey, out of 25 community colleges, our student body rated us in comparison to the other 25 as the #1 community college in the SUNY system. Now, obviously, our students don't know what the other community colleges look like, but just in the rating of our college on a number of points, it happened that our ratings came out higher than any of the other community colleges in SUNY.
That's really customer satisfaction.
We're very pleased.
Because they're your customer.
That's it. That's it.
If they're expressing that kind of pleasure, that says a lot. Well, there you have it again. One more little piece of the puzzle here, and there are a lot of pieces to it, and just can't stress enough. There are good things happening here, and be sure and pay a visit. Even if it's just to drive in once in a while and see what's going on. Or come back this summer and enjoy the views, or come back for the dedication this summer, which I'm sure is going to be a big occasion.
That's right. We're really looking forward to that day.
Thank you again for tuning in.